up so fast. Ow. Sorry.
It should be nothing but smooth sailing from...
Hello? I'm anxiety.
At what age did you actually recognize the emotion of anxiety?
Good question. What age?
Well, there's a Lemony Snicket book. I think it's a series of unfortunate events. I think it is the ersatz elevator. And it begins with a definition of describing the difference between stress and anxiety. And I think that was the first time I understood what that word meant and how it was different than fear. And that it was the fear of something you cannot see, or that isn't necessarily going to happen. And that was from that book. And then I learned how to apply it to my own feeling. But I don't know when I first felt it.
That's a great answer. I feel like mine was a book too. It was the Grover book. There's a monster at the end of this book.
Yeah.
Do you remember that book? And it's basically Grover just getting nervous and more nervous that there's something bad that's going to happen, and the monster turns out to be him.
Wow.
And
That's pretty deep.
it was deep. I mean, Sesame Street.
I mean, I
There was a
know.
monster at the end of this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a great...
It's a good book.
Well, I think you were mentioning this before. There wasn't language for it, right?
Yeah.
At least when I was younger. And it was, you just didn't know. I just remember that kind of chaos and kind of living in the what if of oh, I'm doing that, so they must be thinking that. And that's all anxiety, but we just didn't have language for it.
I think once my imagination kicked in, because it refers to it in the movie using the imagination powers for bad.
Yeah.
Good, or for bad, for anxiety.
My job is to protect her from the scary stuff she can't see. I plan for the future.
One of the neat things about anxiety is she plans for the future, every possible scenario. When in your lives was having no plan the best plan, actually?
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
never gonna go.
I think mine might be different. I feel like when I'm performing, that's probably when I feel the most free and less planny. Like I feel like I'm in the moment, hopefully. But other than that, I'm a big planner.
No, so am I.
Okay.
It's huge. And performing is where it's liberal. That's my favorite thing about being on set or working is that my brain goes quiet.
Same.
It's the only things you need to worry about are the things in this room.
Yes.
I think that's why I like it so much, or part of why.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time I have 1,000 plans, but I don't know how useful any of them ever are.
Yeah, I don't
is
know.
what I really mean. Yeah, I just mean yeah.
Yeah.
What's your name, big fella? That's embarrassment.
One of the new emotions, in addition to yours, is embarrassment.
Oh.
And I love the fact that I think out of all the characters, what he's wearing also represents
Perfect.
the hoodie. So what in your closet best represents joy, and what in your closet best represents anxiety?
These are good questions.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, best represents joy, like a colorful raincoat or something weirdly, even though it's rain, but something outside-y.
Yeah.
I don't know. And anxiety for me would probably be like a bathrobe.
Okay. That could be sadness, fear. That could be
it could
many
be,
things.
Yeah. What
I feel like for me, joy is really loose, shapeless summer dresses.
Yeah.
Almost for lack of a better term, like a muumuu, like a beautiful, patterny, colorful, long but no shape.
Right.
That's joy. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried how I look. I just feel comfortable and happy and radiant. And anxiety is probably this might be revealing because I dress like this a lot, but is long, like a black turtleneck and long black pants and a buttoned up jacket. It's where I'm off, I have my armor on,
Right.
where it's I'm impenetrable because I look perfect.
Good. Well, I am wearing his color.
You look comfortable and joyful, though. That's not fear to me.
I just want to say about you, Cindy DePaul, I do love that he's pink.
Yes.
I just love that flush.
Yes, all the
it's
time.
So good.
I love that his clothes are just a little too tight.
yeah.
Just a little, not obscenely tight, but yeah.
Well, that's a good point. I would say any clothes that I've don't fit anymore,
Right.
and I'm hoping maybe a day I'll fit. No, this dad bod's not going to fit anymore. So that's bringing up some anxiety.
So I dress all ennui, all black
Okay.
all the time.
Is that your boredom, basically, the
I feel
black?
like it's very like New York. We all wear black, and that's our color to celebrate, and also to go out, and also when we're sad.
That's a color.
And also to go to Whole Foods.
There are a couple of sport coats up there. Can't even describe it. I bought this. Where was I going to wear it? Clown collar?
Embarrassment for me is about the sizes that I think I fit in. that just kind of become a piece of furniture in that closet.
Yeah. That's not going to haunt us for the rest of our lives at all.
At what age did you feel embarrassed for the first time? Do you remember?
Oh, I know, 7.
For what?
I was caught cheating on a spelling test, and I was mortified. A, that I was caught, and B, that then that was the end of it, and that I'd go to some sort of a spelling bee prison, and I would never see the light of day again.
Did you ever cheat again after that?
No,
Yeah.
never crossed my mind after that. That was it.
Lesson learned.
Yes.
So that's a good thing.
There was a sector of spelling thieves and criminals at Guantanamo Bay. I don't know if you ever saw the photos, but they have to write on the walls. When I was such a parrot when I was a little kid, so I would hear something on TV and then say it, and my parents would be like, "That is wildly inappropriate." And I'd be like, "Oh, sorry."
I'm the worst. You know, one of the things addressed in this obviously is the concept of, am I good enough? I'm not good enough. But I am curious, what is something that you both are actually not good at? And it's okay to admit that.
I think so. You're making me feel okay about it, your presence. I
See?
appreciate that.
Thank you.
I am not very good at mathematics, and I'm not very good at maintaining my weight. I kind of fluctuate. I'm like...
And I've got those drugs for you, and the people just taking it, and they'll yell at you.
Listen.
And then if you lose, it doesn't matter if you do it on your own anymore.
People ask me where I'm headed. You know where I tell them, Louis? I'm Zepp bound.
Well, I'm going to say that I'm learning to just say that I haven't really learned something yet. One of the cool things about getting older is you realize it's never too late, never too late to learn something. So I don't know. Like, I feel like the stuff that I'm not good enough at yet may change. You know, like, I don't know. I may find, like, if I keep working on myself or working on stuff, I may. But the short answer is, you know, I'm not going to probably be a gymnast in this lifetime. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that answer.
I don't think I'm going to get there.
I don't think I'm going to be a cartographer.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's okay.
Like, I'm not going to be a map maker. Like, I could not
Yeah.
tell you how to get back to my hotel room. Like, I really struggle with directional awareness. Like, I'm the kind of, when I'm driving with someone in a car and they're driving, I'm trying to give them directions, and they're like, all right, left or right here, I knock on the window or tap their shoulder. I'm like, I don't know which one. I'm like, this way. And so that, I think that cartography and otherwise being, you know, that's not my lifetime.
I think partly I ended up, it started as a writer in part because I couldn't do piano either. They were giving me lessons, and I was horrible.
One of my great regrets was quitting piano lessons when I was like 8 years old. I was just lazy. I just didn't want to do the work. And looking back, I'm like, man,
Would
I
have
could
been
have
cool.
really been somebody.
I think it worked out for you.
And then I had my piano teacher had arthritis, and that's kind of a turn off. So, you know, you're looking at her hands thinking, I don't want to end up like this. I'm out of here.
How much time do you have?
Yeah. I think the takeaway is you're good for a period. There's no enough. There's no you have to do something.
Yeah.
You are here, ergo you are good.
Yeah.
You are good enough.
Which is like a really hard thing to remember, you know, because I don't know if performers, you kind of deal with the imposter theory a lot, and I think everybody kind of does. And when that kind of voice comes in, like, you know, they're going to find out you're not, so it's amazing that it just pops up in that reminding of like, no, I'm who I am for a reason, and I'm here for a reason. And it's not the default though. That's the wild thing.
Our little girl's growing up so fast.
Raise your hand if you were a 13-year-old girl once.
I can raise halfway.
Okay.
I was 13.
Okay,
Never
that's
a
it.
13-year-old girl, but I was
Yeah.
13. But it was, I don't know if you can tell, but it was a while ago.
Okay, so how did you get into the mind of a 13-year-old girl? Because you kind of nailed it.
You, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's that means a lot. It really does, because we want to make sure that we're telling stories that are authentic.
Yeah.
And it starts by having a crew that can help you tell that authentic story.
We also had a teenage girl trust. We had 9 girls between the ages of 13 and 16 that we
Okay.
showed the movie to every 4 months for 3 years, working drafts of the movie, and we got their input on whether it was feeling believable to them or not.
We called them Riley's crew.
Oh, that's great.
I know, isn't that sweet? Yeah.
So when can I expect the version where you dress being in their 50s as a female?
Oh boy,
Because that's a whole other, forget
Yes.
the alarm, there are several on that one.
There were so many good jokes. There was some really good stuff we wanted to do with Mom that we weren't able to put in this movie, but there's some really funny stuff that we thought we could do with Mom. But definitely, who knows what we can do with this world and with Riley's story.
It's hunger!
Out of all the cast members, who actually is most like the emotion that they play?
Actually, Pete Docter, who directed the original film, he's like, you really want to find people that are great at being the character on microphone, but you also want to get people where they are still that character off the microphone. So like Lewis Black is Lewis Black's a great example where he's just like, he's got the anger on and off the microphone, and everybody kind of has that side to it, I mean, Amy's another wonderful example.
Joyful person.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, they have a little bit of differences kind of here and there, but ultimately, like, you can tell that Amy is driven by her joy.
What is that? It's the sarcasm.
Sarcasm? Boy, are we so lucky we ran into you guys. Boy, are we so lucky we ran into you guys.
Wow, those guys are jerks. Wow, those guys are jerks.